ideally you have a great director doing the prep work and a great actor doing the prep work, and that great creates an amazing film.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just so many.
So what? And this is we'll segue into what got you first interested in filmmaking and acting.
Okay, well, I've been acting when I was in Russia. Originally, I mean, I wanted to be an actor ever since somebody asked me when I was a little kid, what do you want to do with your life? Not that significant, but when I was a little kid, I was like, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said to myself, I don't know, I was about like 7, 8 or something, and I'm like, I want to do so many different things. I don't know, like I want to be a fireman, a policeman, an astronaut, a scientist, all this, and then I start thinking, what is one profession that allows you to be everything? Acting. You're an actor. You are becoming the character. You're becoming whatever, anything. You can be anything, anybody. Yeah. And at that point, I was just like, yeah, I want to be, I want to be an actor. So at the age of 8, I started putting like little shows for my family and stuff like this, just reading Russian literature and Russian books.
What is it like? What's the difference between acting in Russia versus the US?
Well, I'll get to that. Okay. It's when I was 12 years old, I went into I decided to take it a little bit more seriously, and I started going to the Russian theater school. And I went in there for about 12, 13, 14, about 3 years. I was going into, first it started as a club, and then it's kind of like went into more different. And well, my experience from that is Russian acting, Russian film, Russian theater is a lot more theory, is a lot more like philosophy and stricter, I would say. I don't know, like, well, they're both strict, but Russian is more technique, we probably the first year I spent was just like imagining I was some sort of an animal or something like this, and just like trying to figure out the emotions and all this stuff, just play around with different things. And it's, yeah, you read a lot, you kind of like study a lot, you go through, you might be working on one thing for like 6 months on, one chapter out of the book and things like that. So Russian is very detailed, very, because it's just so much history of like Stanislavski's methods and all these other ones. And yeah, you put a lot of,
what are Stanislavs? As somebody like who doesn't know a whole lot about Stanislavski's methods, what are they? How would you define them?
Well, I'm not like let's put it this way. I mean, I know like Stanislavski, I read about it, and I haven't like really diverted much into that. But to me, Stanislavski's methods is basically emotionalizing with the character, trying to say it right, bring your own self, like bring your own emotions into the character. Like you're becoming, it's like what's that called? Christian Bale does that, where
method acting.
Yeah, it's like almost like a method acting. But Stanislavski's method is more of like it's a really method of different types of method. I mean, he designed it while he was, in theater, and it's the way I read about it, the way I kind of like know, it's just it's different. It's different types of like theater. When they put on the plays in Russian theater, they said, okay, this works and this doesn't work, and they were kind of like testing it out at the time. And that's where, from Stanislavski's method, you have born of, the Le Strasberg method came through, which is like the method acting. Then you have the Meisner technique came from Stanislavski. So it's all Meisner, the different things.
Yeah, Meisner, I did. I read his book a while ago, and I read it again so I could fucking understand it.
Oh, Meisner. Meisner is we can.
My friend, I think he he studied a bit of it in his acting class, and he utilized it when we're doing my film Feeding the Fighter. He helped us get into those places.
Right.
He helped us get it out of our heads a bit using some of the techniques. I forget what it was, but I think you were basically commenting on, you were repeating what the person said, but you were reacting to what they were,
the behavior,
to the behavior.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's basically like, the way I would describe it is, you're basically from experiencing it, it was really weird how it took, it separated words from emotion for me. It words from, it was separated words from behavior.
Right.
And it got you it was automatic. The person said something, you know, you look cheerful.
I look cheerful.
You look cheerful.
I look cheerful.
You look cheerful.
I look cheerful.
And basically, yeah, like I think that was right. Like,
yes, it is.
You basically, like what happened as we were doing that, we were gradually reacting
to each other. Right.
I got to do that again sometime.
Well,
that's fun.
It is fun. Well, let me talk about the and shout out to Baron Brown Studios and my teachers Tom Patton, Charlie Boom, who I'm currently at the Baron Brown Studios studying Meisner acting, and it's a great program.
Yeah.
This is my first year. I'm going on second year next year, and it's Meisner, and I'm in the process of learning that. And our first, we did that what you said, that's repetitions of repetition, basically what we call it. It's like you say something about me, how I look, and then I repeat that, and then I try to relate to you, or you try to relate to the way I said it.
Yeah.
And then you go,
and you can get into like negative things, like if the person kind of seems like
like what you said,
you seem cheerful.
You seem cheerful, right? I seem cheerful. Like
you seem cheerful. Like you're just. It really is about not thinking about it.
No, you don't think about it at all.
You're and it's kind of like that's one of those 20% that gets 80% of the results as an actor,
right?
And that's why it's such a successful and well known method.
Yeah, and the thing just with the Meisner is like the big thing is basically it's you use it's part imaginary and part real. So you use the part imaginary, part real. You use something that's relatable to you. Like in the scene, you kind of like if in the scene your dog kind of like passed away, like you have to, but you or like something happened. You have to relate to it to see what happened in your life, that or whatever personal to you that's mattered to you. You got to work from personal, and then the imaginary is the script. So you layer basically in the script. You say like, whatever, it's somebody. Well, not passed away, but it's like the dog passed away. Okay, well, and your whatever girlfriend broke up with you. So it's like you're layering different things. If in the script you can't relate to, maybe you never had dog or anything like this, but you had the other experience, so you use that other experience on top of that, because the emotions is kind of similar. Yeah. So that's basically, it's a part real, part imaginary.
Yeah, and I've talked about. So there's a the Dustin Hoffman masterclass.
Right.
One of the things that I learned from that, and I think I've told you this, and it's it's one of the ways I think about acting a lot, because it's one of those kind of simpler approaches. It's kind of like a 20% that gets 80% of the results for me. Yeah. It's you basically, like you would mention how Marlon Brando would be, talking to an electrician or a gaffer or somebody, on set, and just talking to them, having a conversation, like Marlon Brando would, just very aloof.
Right.
And then the director would say, all right, we're rolling, Brando, we're rolling. And he'd just still be talking to the person. And it was like, all right, we're rolling. And then he'd, just like he was talking to the person, or, he would go and talk to the actor. not even just as naturally as he was, just the same way. But I mean, of course, I think it's a mixture of that. Plus, you got to ask yourself, what's the reality of the scene? You know, what kind of direction will get you, you know, like if it's a scene where, you know, you're supposed to, where you're getting stabbed, you're not going to talk to them like you were just talking to them. Like,
oh no,
you know,
absolutely.
you gotta kind of layer in a bit of what, you like of the reality of the situation to it.
Right.
And you know, especially like I kind of instinctively do that whenever I'm acting. Like I find that I find it through rehearsal by myself, at least.
Yeah.
Like I always have to rehearse the script because that's how I find how I perform the character automatically.
Right.
You just go through the script and you're thinking, okay, this is what's going on in the scene. And like when like in the cop sketch we do, I come into the car and I've just rehearsed through the entire script, and I do it like start to finish sometimes so I can feel the rage building as I go through the scenes of, you know, I just lost my badge, now I gotta find it, and I'm like, give me my, you know, like give me the badge, you know. And then you know, I find that, you know, I also find the comedy as I'm doing it, like, okay, you know, there's the reality, I'm here for my badge, but then he's like, you want a donut? And I'm like, really? like
that's like a curveball.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, really? Yeah, like, okay, yeah, sure, I love it.
But it's a part of, like, you know, being comedy, you know, being a comedic sketch.
Yeah, you have to figure out like what's funny, and then I'm like, yeah, they were free. That's a privilege reserved for us, not you. And so yeah, like because he's a fisherman, he stole my badge, and that's how he got the donuts. And basically, yeah. So I look for, like, I'll rehearse, and for a while I was actually thinking about not rehearsing for my serious projects again. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rehearse because I realize, you know, when I'm doing these sketches, and this is why I kind of want to get back into directing them from behind the camera. Right. I want to take them because I'm trying to make my sketches. They started out kind of as something I was doing on my own, just acting them myself. So I was doing very, very minimalist, you know, a very, very minimalist approach to them. And now I'm like, I'm doing these pretty seriously now. I want to get more serious, and that's why I'm reading my book for directing actors. Yeah. I might be doing like 5 to 10 hours of prep work for how to direct the actors for that, but it's going to be much better. Like you saw Rusty Spade. Yeah, it's going to be that level of acting.
That was a great level
for the sketches from absolutely. So this cop one doesn't have that, but it's going to. But then again, you give great direction, so it's going to be better than what I've done, I think. But you know, so, and yeah, you were super helpful, you know, having you on set, like you're clutch. So, you know, I look forward to the 17th. You're so good for that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to film the rest of that.
To like grow the mustache back or buy one from the
do whatever you know what, you don't have to have anything. Like if you want to keep it like clean shaven, it's just if you want it for comedic effect. Yeah, you know? Yeah.
We'll figure out some. But that's my thing with you is question for you is like, do you do the daydream preparation? Do you know about daydream?
No. What is that?
This basically is I'm not giving anything away, but it's when you go into a scene, you got to be emotionally ready. You got to be emotionally prepared. So the way you prepare yourself is you do a daydream, and the daydreaming is basically get yourself. So you practice emotion, say happy. You go back and you start thinking about something happy. You start imagining, like, say for example, you want to, you know, you're about to win an Oscar nomination, and then you start thinking, okay, I'm going to start my daydream. But for a scene, you have to be happy for the scene. Your character is happy, but you got to get yourself really emotionally happy. So you start with you're basically, okay, I'm getting out of the car. I'm here with my significant another person, my family, my friends. I'm walking down the red carpet, and then I see, you know, Tom Cruise there. I see, you know, Scarlett Johansson. I see other people. You know, I meet, I greet, I go into the room, I sit down. You know, the Oscar music starts playing, and I'm like excited. I got nominated. I don't know if my name is going to come up or anything like this. And then all of a sudden, your name comes up. And you won. And you're like, oh man, so now I'm gonna go up to the stage. I'm happy, I'm excited. I get up to the stage, I pull out my piece of paper, giving the speech, and then I remember my father or my mother or whoever, my grandmother, who like really believed in me, and they wanted to see me on the stage, but they not here anymore with me.
You have to be really happy in this scene, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be right, exactly. And then the moment you get yourself emotional, see, like you emotionalize, you thinking, you imagining all this stuff in your head, and you emotionally getting happy. And at the moment where you already emotionally reach that level, scene starts. And then you walk into the room.
Now, is this something you use for rehearsal, or is it something you use on
all the time? Use it rehearsal, use on stage, especially like rehearsals is where you find out what works, what doesn't. When you go out there and you start shooting and making film, that's how
that's a very involved approach.
It's a very involved.
I feel like if I were to do that, there's a chance that it would work a little bit at first, and then I'd be like, all right, I need to 86 this because it's not really doing that much for me, because I go back into the groove of what I think I should be doing for the character. I don't know.
Right. Well, I could be wrong.
I might want to try it sometime.
Yeah, it's not really like what you got to do for a character, because your character comes from you. You know, you are the character. So like you can, just like, oh, the character's I got to play him this way or play that. No, you are finding connection with the character. You to fine-tune those emotions, you fine-tune the things that make you similar to the character, and then you magnify them because you want to bring realism. So you're bringing yourself to the character. But that's where with the emotion, with the daydream, you come to the scene and the scene starts. You go in, you forget about your daydream, you start playing moments. And that's where the script is already there. You already know your lines, you know who your person is, and you're just playing emotions without the character, but you are emotionally ready and emotionally available, and that's where that work happens. I mean,
that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, it's one. I'm sure there's a list. There's Rosberg. I mean, there's so many.
There's so many different people who came up with methods and then tried to make money from them.
Yeah,
because it's a business.
I know, no. I mean, but it's not a business. It's not just business. It's an art.
It's an art. It's
an art. Yeah.
And then there are people who, they do it because they teach people because they want to get that, help people.
Oh yeah.
With their career.
Right.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this podcast clip. For notes and links to things mentioned on the show, my films, full episodes, or other selected clips, go to proffitableproduktions.com/podcast. Profitable is spelled like my name with 2 F's and 2 T's. Also, for updates on future episodes, follow me on Instagram at Proffitt Take and at Profitable Productions. Consider liking and subscribing. It helps me out a lot. Thanks again. Catch you on the next take.